Das Radikal.
Well, a few days ago we made this video where I talked about refugees protesting outside the Parliament of Iceland, and there was a slight scuffle between said protesters and the Icelandic police. These protests have been going on ever since then, although now they appear to be petering out, partially due to, wait for it, the Icelandic climate. Yeah, apparently it's not easy to continuously protest in Iceland during the winter, even though the weather is quite mild for March right now. Okay, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. You read the title, I'm assuming. So, yeah. Some of these refugees that were protesting placed a cardboard sign on a statue that's located outside of Parliament, and this just happens to be the statue of one Jón Sigurðsson, who is perhaps one of the most famous Icelander in all of history, at least to us Icelanders. And he was the leader of the Icelandic independence movement, and pretty much just a symbol all around for Icelandic democracy and Icelandic nationalism. So, as you can imagine, a lot of people took a great offense to said protesters placing their sign there. Anyway, I view myself as a hardcore Icelandic patriot and nationalist, so when I see people place signs or do something with the statue, I get deeply offended, like within the core of my soul. And I should also note that this is not the first time that this has happened. I saw a photo that's during some women's rights protest, I believe, somebody placed a pink dress on Jón. Okay, that is a little bit funny, I'll admit that, but still, take a great offense to that. And I think also when they were protesting against the creation of a new aluminium factory. So yeah, it was an environmentally aware protest. Somebody put aluminium foil around them. And yeah, whenever I see something like this, even though it's for a cause that I like, it pains me inside. Now, I am not gonna rip these refugees a new one for this, because, and it kind of pains me to say this, but I don't think that Jón Sigurðsson would disapprove of this. Here's the thing. Yes, Jón Sigurðsson is a national symbol for all Icelanders. I mean, I have met some of the most right-wing, some of the most left-wing, like I have met self-confessed communists and everything in between, liberals, conservatives, people from all political factions you can imagine, but for the most part we all agree on Jón Sigurðsson as a, well, more of a symbol, really, a symbol, a spirit of Icelandic pride and nationalism. But here's the thing, like I said, I don't think he would disapprove of this practice of placing things on his statue, because, well, he himself was a rebel. I mean, he was not a armed rebel who led an armed revolt against the Danish authority which controlled Iceland during his time. He spoke for diplomacy and democratic means in order for Iceland to become an independent nation. But he was still a rebel. I mean, you want to know what the most famous quote attributed to Jón Sigurðsson is? It is "Vér mótmælum allir," which roughly translates to "we all protest." Jón Sigurðsson had a vision for Iceland. A free nation, a republic where freedom of speech was of the utmost importance, where everybody could express their views freely, either through their elected representative or by themselves, even via means of hopefully peaceful protesting. So, as much as, you know, some people putting signs or dresses or whatever on Jón Sigurðsson's statue pains nationalists like myself, I have to say, in upholding the memory of the great Jón Sigurðsson, I think he would approve of the method. Now, whether or not Jón Sigurðsson would approve of refugees coming to Iceland and all of that is a whole different story that I'm sure you can, fight over in the comments. But my point is that he, as an advocate of free speech and a free republic where people are allowed to protest, he would probably be totally fine with people doing things to his statue. So, in honor of that, even, like I said, even though I wouldn't do it, and I find it a bit abhorrent, to be quite frank, I respect his vision greatly, so I say to these refugees or whoever protests, it's not like this is going to be the last protest in Iceland, and there have been plenty of protests before, and sometimes people will do things to his statue, and I say, let them. Oh, God, I do not like saying that, but yeah, that's the gist of this video, Have you, to all you nationalists out there, have you noticed, that he is standing there facing the parliament, looking at it defiantly, like... Já, ég að stara á ykkur, ég mótmæli og við mótmælum allir. He looks at the parliament building defiantly, challenging it, because he wants authority to be challenged. At least that's my interpretation of, why the statue looks like that and whatever. But basically, Jón Sigurðsson was never afraid to oppose authority. So, in a way, these refugees are keeping up the spirit of Jón Sigurðsson, I suppose, in their own way. But yeah, that was the gist of this video. I just wanted to talk about this. Talking about Jón Sigurðsson so much kind of makes me want to make a video about him only. Maybe I will. I'm balancing a few ideas for what my next historical Icelandic video will be about, but I'll make something soon. Anyway, see ya. Ísland, gamla Ísland, ásæl Austurvöllur, við eflum þig hag hvern einasta dag.
Das Radikal.